Killing beautiful and innocent creations is among the gravest wrongs a human can commit. Yet, what makes it even more disturbing is when this act is cloaked in prayer, when someone thanks a higher power for the very murder they just committed, or knowingly partook in, using religious belief as a shield to justify the violence. Someone once told me they wouldn't touch meat unless it had gone through the process of halsher, as if ritualized killing somehow purifies the act. What a tragic joke. What a monstrous self-deception dressed as tradition. Now you feel angry? But it's easy to self-satisfy, easy to feel righteous when you're surrounded by others who are just as deep in the same murderous spree. In this alliance of cruelty, you all comfort each other, nodding in agreement, quoting scriptures written by men who sharpened their blades before their pens, men who masked violence in the language of divinity, faking this criminal act as if it were ordained by God to kill beings simply because they were born in a different shape than us. And yet, you say, do not murder? What a daring lie you tell, boldly, blindly, as if truth were yours to twist. You convince yourselves, God approves. You say, it's written. But did you ever stop to question how we were deceived from a young age to turn a blind eye to the killing of innocent lives, as if their suffering doesn't count? How we live with two minds, one that commits the sin, justifies the murder, and writes it off as divine will, and another that speaks of love, seeks righteousness, and dares to call itself holy. How we've been conditioned to accept the murder of innocent beings simply because they were born in a different shape than us. And still, we say we walk in the light? Still, we claim we know love? What a contradiction. What a tragedy disguised as truth. This isn't righteousness. It's a collapse of conscience, a crime painted with ritual, a mockery of morality, a mental illness masquerading as faith. And the cruelest irony, the cherry on the ice cream, is when, after all this, you speak of love. You preach compassion. You claim to be righteous. You claim to walk in the light of God. That is not spirituality. That is delusion. That is betrayal of every divine principle, every spark of real love that ever existed. If your version of faith and love includes killing, murdering, and causing unimaginable suffering to innocent beings, then something is deeply, dangerously wrong with you. I invite you to come out of this delusion. Your mind is playing tricks on you, faking love, faking relationships. But the truth is right in front of your eyes. You know these innocent beings are suffering. You see the strays wandering the streets, starving and forgotten. You know that simply because they were born in a different shape, they're caged in zoos for life, eyes filled with sorrow, voices silenced in captivity. You've felt their pain, but you've been taught to look away. Please join hands with me to step out of this illusion. You will begin to see what true love really is. You will step into a life of clarity, compassion, and courage. You will grow stronger, not in dominance, but in heart and mind, filled with humbleness. You will come out of this invisible evil, one that is stressing your life and destroying your being. And finally, you will be free from this life of double minds and start to live a life filled with love, truth, and happiness.